Hydro Flask versus Klean Kanteen, which bottle is better? Need a new bottle but can't decide between Hydro Flask and Klean Kanteen? Not an issue. You will find everything you need to make that decision in this detailed comparison. Both Hydro Flask and Klean Kanteen are well-known and established brands. Their bottles are made from premium materials and they are completely BPA-free. Whichever one you go for, you will be buying an environmentally safe bottle that you can use for a long time. But one is better than the other, so let's see which one. What are we comparing? Both Hydro Flask and Klean Kanteen make a lot of different bottles. And most of the features that I'm comparing below really depend on which bottle you want to get. So, unless I mention a specific bottle, I'm referring to the classic, standard insulated bottles from both brands. I will mention some of their other bottles from time to time, and usually if they have any outstanding features that are worth mentioning. Or if they perform exceptionally well in one specific area. Insulation. Winner, Klean Kanteen. Both Klean Kanteen and Hydro Flask make double-walled bottles. Which means that there are two layers of stainless steel. The inner layer retains the temperature of your drink, while the outer layer doesn't allow that temperature to transfer to the exterior of the bottle. Meaning that no matter how hot or cold your drink is, you won't feel that when you actually grab the bottle in your hand. Sounds simple enough. But each brand has improved their insulation over time, in an attempt to really outshine everyone else. Hydro Flask uses TempShield insulation. Their bottles are able to keep cold drinks cold for up to 24 hours, and keep hot drinks hot for up to 12 hours. And this is true for both standard and wide-mouth bottles. So, in terms of insulation, Hydro Flask has the same standard for all of their bottles. Klean Kanteen, on the other hand, uses climate lock insulation. For their classic bottles, they promise to retain temperature up to 20 hours for hot drinks, and up to 50 hours for iced drinks. But that's a bit too good to be true. Realistically, you can get about 12 hours for hot drink with a Klean Kanteen bottle, which is still better than what Hydro Flask has to offer. And with Klean Kanteen, you have more options. If you want an outstanding insulated bottle, pick up their TKPRO. This one gives you 28 hours for hot drinks and up to 90 hours for iced drinks. That's because it features TK closure with internal thread design, which really helps with retaining temperature. Keep in mind that Klean Kanteen specifically says that they will retain the temperature of iced drinks, not just cold drinks. For best results, you should add a couple of cubes of ice to your bottle. And observing how fast they are melting will also let you know just how well your bottle is performing. Here's the thing, if you're looking for a bottle that you can take on a day outing, either one will do a great job. They both perform really well for the first several hours, which is what most people need. How often did you actually need to keep your drink cold for 3 days? But if you want something for longer adventures, Klean Kanteen bottles are the better option. Especially for hot beverages. Durability. Winner, Hydro Flask. Both of these bottles are made from the same materials, and you can expect almost the same levels of durability with them. The body of the bottles is resistant to dents, and it will not break easily. You would really have to put in a lot of effort to damage one of them beyond repair. Additionally, both bottles have a smooth finish due to a powder coat. So, the stainless steel is not really exposed on either of these, which really improves their scratch resistant. Klean Kanteen calls this a clean coat finish, which is chip resistant and environmentally friendly. Hydro Flask also uses a powder coat that promises a sweat-free grip and an exceptionally durable bottle. But there is a clear difference between the two bottles, and that's the cap. On the Klean Kanteen bottles the cap screws inside the bottle, and on the Hydro Flask it screws over the top. Because of this, the Hydro Flask turns out to be the more durable option in the long run. The issue with Klean Kanteen design is that the lid can get damaged or warped, which really impacts the leak-proofing of the bottle. With extended use, this can really become an issue, which is why Hydro Flask is the winner here. Ease of use. Winner, draw. Both of these bottles are very easy to use. There's no fuss, you pour in your drink, add some ice cubes if you want to keep it cold and screw on the lid. Personally, I prefer the wide-mouth bottles. Especially in the summer, it's much easier to get an ice cube inside a wide-mouth bottle. But then again, a standard, classic bottle will actually fit into your car's cup holder, and a wide one won't. So it's a matter of personal preference. The important thing is that you are able to choose with either brand. And ease of use shouldn't impact your decision, because it's the same with both Hydro Flask and Klean Kanteen. Accessories. Winner, Klean Kanteen. Both brands offer lots of different accessories for their bottles. That includes a variety of different caps, cleaning kits and even caps with straw holes. But Klean Kanteen goes one step further by offering metal straws and cages that allow you to attach the bottle to your bike. And you can even get baby nipples, steel binders and bottle slings, all of which are very useful accessories. Since Hydro Flask doesn't have quite the same range, Klean Kanteen is the winner here. Pricing. Winner, draw. Both of these bottles are pretty much in the same price range. But when you look closely at the prices, Klean Kanteen comes ahead for the standard bottles. The cheapest narrow mouth bottle by Hydro Flask is just under $30, and it's the standard 18 ounces bottle. The cheapest Klean Kanteen bottle with a narrow mouth costs just a little under $30, but it has greater capacity. So, even though the KK regular bottles are a bit more expensive, they're ultimately better value for money because you're getting a bigger bottle. This is very obvious if you compare the bigger bottles in the narrow mouth range. With KK it's around $37 for a 32 ounces bottle, and with HF it's some $35 for a 24 ounces bottle. The winner here is obvious. But when you look at the other bottles from these two brands, Hydro Flask starts to pull ahead. Especially with wide mouth bottles, not only do they offer more size variety in this particular range, but they also offer better pricing. The ultimate winner here really depends on the type of bottle you're looking to buy. If it's a regular, narrow mouth bottle, Klean Kanteen ultimately gives you better value for money. But if you're looking for a wide mouth bottle, then Hydro Flask is the better option. Leak proofing. Winner, Hydro Flask. If you've read through the previous sections, this won't come as a surprise. Let's make one thing clear, neither of these bottles are leaky. Both have a great seal when properly fastened, and perform equally well in this area. However, because of the design of Klean Kanteen's lid, there are some issues with durability, and in turn leak proofing. Over time, the lid get warped, and it doesn't screw in as easily as before. Sometimes you really need to pay attention to how you're screwing in the lid, in order to ensure that the bottle stays leak-proof. And if the cap gets damaged, the Klean Kanteen bottle will not be as leak-proof as it used to be. You won't experience this issue with Hydro Flask. The lid is easy to screw on the bottle, and it stays in place no matter how casually you put it on. It's safe, it creates a great seal, and it will stay that way for a long time. Overall design. Winner, Hydro Flask. I know this is a matter of personal preference, but the form factor is just as important as the others. Hydro Flask deserves the points here because they have a more unique design of their bottles. Which was not the case a year ago. In fact, they had very little design variety to choose from previously. But now, their bottles are available in fun bright colors, rainbow gradients and various limited edition designs. Klean Kanteen used to do limited designs, but hasn't for a while. You can still find some of the older versions on Amazon's, but you can't really get them from their own website. And that's the shame. Overall, I think that the Hydro Flask bottles are sleeker, more interesting to look at and just stand out more. Especially the fun colors and designs. Choice. Winner, Klean Kanteen. Klean Kanteen is the winner here by a mile. Not only do they have more variety when it comes to the type of the bottle, but they are also a clear winner when it comes to size variety. Here's the thing, if I have to choose between a 32 ounces and a 24 ounces bottle for the same price, I'm going with the 32 ounces. I drink a lot of water and coffee, especially when I'm traveling or moving a lot. And I will always go for the bigger bottle. Klean Kanteen's classic range includes 3 bottles 20 ounces, 32 ounces and 64 ounces. Hydro Flask also has 3 bottles in their standard range, but they don't go bigger than 24 ounces. The other 2 options are 18 ounces and 21 ounces. The catch is that Hydro Flask's 18 ounces bottles is in the same price range as Klean Kanteen's 20 ounces bottle. And the KK 32 ounces bottle is only about $2 more expensive than HF's 24 ounces bottle. For me, Klean Kanteen is not just better value for money, but also the more versatile option. And this is just for the standard mouth bottle. When you also look at all the other types of bottles that exist, KK really takes the edge here. especially with their TKPRO insulated bottle, which is a champion at retaining the temperature of your drink. Klean Kanteen vs. Hydro Flask, who wins? And even though it's technically a draw, I think Hydro Flask is still a better option. And that's because they won the categories that actually matter, specifically leak proofing and durability. Because, when you're spending north of $30 on an insulated bottle, you want to know you'll be able to use it for years to come. And with Hydro Flask that is completely true. Plus, it will retain the same level of quality and durability from day 1 to day 1001. And the same can't be said for Klean Kanteen. Yes, they have a slightly better insulation, more variety in their range and a lot more accessories you can buy. But does that really matter if your bottle is going to leak into your backpack and ruin everything inside it? I'm not saying that you should expect that to happen. But it could. And that's why I think Hydro Flask is the overall winner out of the two. That still doesn't mean that Klean Kanteen bottles are bad and you shouldn't buy them. It's like comparing two expensive smartphones. Just because one is a little bit better than the other doesn't mean that the other one is a bad phone. Besides, even if the cap on your KK bottle gets warped and it starts leaking, fixing that issue is as easy as just buying a new cap. Ultimately, it depends on what you think is the better fit for you and your needs. And both of these bottles are outstanding quality and perform very well. One is just a bit better than the other.